Hey there, welcome back to another SafeZone Entertainment motorcycle list. Today we're talking to new riders. Here's 7 tips for new riders to help keep them safe on the road. First on our list is take a safety course. The first, and in my opinion, the most useful thing you can do as a new rider. The professional instructors will teach you things you may not know how to do. I grew up around motorcycles and had ridden dirt bikes off and on for close to 25 years, yet no one had ever showed me how to keep a bike upright and straight while at a slow walking pace without putting my foot down. These courses range in price between $400 and $700 and may seem like a lot to spend, but could save you even more down the road. Some insurance companies will even offer a discount if you've taken a course. Second on our list is wear the right gear. You may hear the term ATGAT being thrown around when it comes to gear. Spelled ATGATT, this stands for all the gear, all the time, as there is always a risk of injury while riding a motorcycle. If you ask my 12-year-old why we wear all the gear, she'll tell you we dress for the slide, not the ride. So what gear should we be wearing? First off is your helmet, and this one's a no-brainer in Canada. Helmets are law. And no, I'm not about to get into the debate about turbans versus helmets. In the case of helmets, more is better. Crash statistics show that the most common area of impact is the chin area. Open-face helmets offer no protection for that. Next is your armored jacket. You can find a large assortment of jackets, hoodies, and shirts that have impact-resistant materials at the elbow, shoulder, and back. While a black leather jacket might be cool looking, a high-vis motorcycle jacket will aid in motorists around you actually noticing you are there. Next, as we work our way down, are gloves. Gloves come in armored form as well, but the impact resistance is not something you absolutely must have. Mechanics gloves, work gloves, gardening gloves. Okay, not the gardening gloves. Either way, having something covering your hands provides protection from wind, temperature, and some of the slides should you go down. Impact-resistant gloves are great for when that jerk of a wasp decides to bounce off your hand at 110, or when that little bit of remaining gravel on the road gets thrown at you from another vehicle. As we head south of the border, or below the waist, we come to riding pants or chaps. What you wear to protect your legs really is a personal choice, and some of that choice is style-related. Cruiser riders may lean more to leather chaps, while sport bike riders may sport full racing outfits. Some may have abrasion-resistant riding jeans. The most important thing to remember is that the pants should be designed to take a fall. I've seen firsthand how quickly a pair of regular denim jeans will rip and provide little to no protection. Finally, the gear we come to is the riding boots. Riding boots typically have an anti-vibration sole, which makes any kind of distance riding so much more comfortable. Some may also have an extra material on the shifter foot to prevent it from wearing down when you're shifting. You generally want to get boots that have armor over the ankle. That little bit of extra protection never hurts. The third tip we have for new riders is checking your weather reports. Nothing like riding on a nice sunny day, you decide to stop in somewhere for a bite to eat, and when you come out the clouds have rolled in and the skies have opened up. You realize at that moment you didn't bring your rain gear with you. How could you have avoided this? Checking the weather before you gear up. It only took 1 hour-long ride home in a downpour with nowhere to hide to get me to add the weather reports into my routine before I go ride. Our fourth item is always pre-trip. This is very important. Making sure your ride is at its peak performance level is key to avoiding a large amount of potential issues once you're out on the road. Pre-tripping your ride should include checking your tire pressure. Make sure it is at where the manual or tire says it should be based on the riding you're doing. Incorrect tire pressure can negatively affect your handling. Visually walk around before you start the bike. Are there any leaks? Is anything out of place or missing? Is your license plate still there? Once the bike is running, check your headlights, both high and low beam. Then check your tail light and brake light. Make sure to test from both front and rear levers. Don't forget to check your turn signals as well. And the other thing to remember to pre-trip is yourself. If you're not feeling great, not in a good place mentally, really tired, etc., you probably shouldn't ride. Trust me. Our number 5 tip is riding defensively. So now you're out there on the road. They say that you should ride as if every other vehicle out there is operated by an assassin who is being paid to kill you. If you take the theatrics out of that statement, you come to a place where the truth sits. Distracted driving has taken over the top spot for fatalities involving a motor vehicle, surpassing impaired driving. If the drivers of the cars and trucks around you aren't going to pay attention to the road, you need to ride your bike in a way that allows you to be able to respond quickly to those drivers when they make a mistake. The other part of riding defensively is to make sure you are riding to your skill level and to the conditions of the road you're on. My first year of riding, I decided to drag race against an Acura NSX. I won very easily. The problem was that the road turned at the end. I nearly went down as I discovered, at well over the speed limit, that I did not have the skill level to make the curve at those speeds. I barely managed to slow the bike down in time, and my hurt took a heck of a lot longer to slow down than that. Number 6 is look where you want to go. This is one of the fundamentals they will teach you in the safety course. Time after time, you see a collision that could have been avoided if the rider had looked where they wanted to go and not at what they wanted to avoid. This applies in regular riding situations as well. Looking far enough ahead and where you want to go makes riding easier and gives you time to react to obstacles or issues that are in front of you. Our final tip for new riders is 70-30 braking. As a general rule of thumb, unless you're dirt biking, you want to practice 70-30 braking. This means 70% of your pressure should be applied to the front brake and 30% to the rear brake to ensure a smooth and progressive stop. Too much pressure on the front brake and you risk the back of the bike coming up and you going over the handlebars, and too much rear brake will cause the rear to lock up and you to skid, reducing the control you have over the bike. So that's our list for this video. The bottom line for new riders is to enjoy the ride for themselves. Don't worry so much about keeping up versus with what's going on around you. Motorcycles are about being out in the wind, enjoying the open road, and experiencing things in a way that someone in a car can't. If your bike is performing properly, you are in the right physical and mental place, and you have learned some skills, you'll get the most out of this new way of you getting around. So stay safe and get riding.